on this episode of Hollywood Treasure.
I'm on the biggest hunt I've ever been on. It's easily $200,000 to $300,000. Profiles in History is going back to the future. Everything in your movie is iconic. Ruby slippers were stolen. Our goal is to start a brand new investigation.
This is the biggest task Joe has ever set us on.
He can walk me through the crime scene step by step. I think $2 to $3 million. They're that iconic.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a little bit nervous. This is by far the biggest item we've ever had.
Sold, 4,000.
That lot started going up and up and up.
Sold, sold, sold.
My name is Joe Maddalini. I hunt for iconic treasure from the movies and TV shows you love and auction them for prices you wouldn't believe. Together with my team of talented investigators, I will scour the globe to uncover Hollywood treasure.
Hey guys. Hey Joe.
Morning.
We're really kind of right in the middle of this, Team Fox charity auction. And I really wanted you guys to understand how important this is. Michael J. Fox's foundation, Team Fox, raises money for Parkinson's research. So we're trying to find Back to the Future items to get in this auction. But this is difficult because we're not looking for consignments. We're looking for donations.
I actually have a great lead, Mr. Bob Gale, who is the creator of Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. He's agreed to meet with us.
That's great. So, John, I have a project for you. My number one thing is a pair of ruby slippers.
Slippers of
The only pair that, to me that's viable are Michael Shaw's. In 2005, though, his ruby slippers were stolen out of the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. They're missing. They're gone. First thing I want to do, Brian, is let's make an appointment and see if he's on board for this, because I would like to reopen this case. This is the ultimate iconic film item there is. This would be the biggest thing we've ever had. Today we're going to go visit Michael Shaw. I'm on the biggest hunt of my lifetime searching for the ruby slippers, the world's most famous film artifact.
Michael!
I really can't go on this quest to find these ruby slippers without Michael being invested in this because they're his.
Welcome to Chateau Shaw.
What an amazing, amazing place. Speechless. Michael Shaw is one of the founders of collecting and basically saved a lot of these treasures from going in the trash. Where did you find this costume?
This was a case of things that were being thrown out or in people's collection that they didn't want anymore.
If this is the real deal, it's easily $200,000 to $300,000. I mean, it's so important. Everybody asks me, why do people collect this? And I say it's one word, nostalgia.
Exactly.
It's all it is. I think when you look back, when you're older and you're like, wow, who would have known those are the happiest days of our lives, right?
True.
I wouldn't be doing this today if it wasn't for people like Michael Shaw. And that's why I've got to push forward on this quest and find these ruby slippers. For any collector of movie memorabilia, I've got to say the holy grail are the ruby slippers.
Oh, absolutely. And to have them stolen out of a museum, the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, was outrageous. I used to use the ruby slippers to help raise money for various charities. Maybe if enough word goes out there, the ruby slippers will reappear.
Right.
And I can continue to help them spread their magic. What would you say my pair would be worth?
Yours are, for sure, we know screen used. In today's market, I think $2 to $3 million. They're that iconic. That is the most important piece of Hollywood memorabilia in the world. So our goal is to start a brand new investigation to find your slippers.
That would be wonderful.
I grew up watching The Wizard of Oz. This is a personal thing for me. It's a travesty that these ruby slippers disappeared. Michael, I'm committed to finding these shoes for you. We're going to give it a shot.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I'm still on the hunt for the ruby slippers, but today Tracy set up a meeting with Bob Gale, and I'm hoping to get some great items for the Team Fox auction.
So nice to meet you in person.
Hi.
This is Joe Madalena.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Joe.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
I'm fine. I even put on a jacket for you.
Oh, you're looking sharp.
Meeting the creator of Back to the Future is pretty awesome. For certain films, when you look at like the Raiders and the Indiana Jones franchise or Back to the Future, everything in your movie is iconic. Whether it's a hoverboard, the DeLorean, Marty's jacket, the sneakers, the sports almanac, literally everything in the movie for a collector is a dream because everything was iconic.
I've got some pretty cool stuff. Some of it because I was smart and took it. You know,
so you got two type of hoverboards.
Okay,
I know they
yeah.
made a solid wood one.
This one's made out of plywood.
Right.
Okay.
And you know, it's heavy. They'd hang this on wire.
Oh,
it was
cool.
heavy enough so that it could support a human being. Here's the hover technology, the maglev technology, and these little wire feet on here to create the illusion when Michael J. Fox takes the hoverboard and he throws it on the ground.
There you have
It's
it.
hovering.
Something like this in today's market would bring $50,000.
Here's one of the newspapers when Biff Cannon is the luckiest man on earth.
Wouldn't you like to have that sports almanac for a day? Who came up with all these ideas?
Most
Is
of
that you?
that probably came out of my brain, yeah. And this one was actually used in the movie.
We just sold one of these for $6,000. You know, so it's just to show you how valuable your items from this movie. It's like a collector's dream, especially coming from you. To pull off this Back to the Future auction, we've got to land Bob Gale. We are doing this auction for Team Fox. And, you know, we're trying to find material from Back to the Future.
Anything that you can part with. We actually have a little surprise for you.
Cool.
You're falling into a peculiar underworld.
This is the biggest challenge we've ever faced. We are doing this auction for Team Fox, and you know, we're trying to find material from Back to the Future. To pull off this Back to the Future auction, we've got to land Bob Gale.
Anything that you can part with, we would be so...
I wouldn't do this for anything except for the Team Fox Foundation. But I know it's really going to do some good.
Bob, thank you so much. Now that we've got Bob Gale on board, we're going to get really eager buyers because we have Bob Gale's sports almanac and his newspapers. Collectors are going to be really eager to bid on these things.
My pleasure. If this is helping the Team Fox Foundation,
absolutely.
it's great. Gracie, thank you.
And not so fast, we actually have a little surprise for you.
Okay.
So come on.
So come on.
Well, what do you think, Bob?
Cool. I know what this is.
Joe Wasser has spent 4 years of his life building this DeLorean. He's agreed to consign it to this auction.
So why is this here? I mean, it's a surprise, but why is it here?
Because we're doing this auction for Team Fox, Joe is going to allow us to actually sell the car. But without a thumbs up from you, it's not going to get a whole lot of buyer interest. What do you think? I'm really nervous about Bob looking at this car because without Bob's approval, we cannot have this car in the auction. Is it up to par?
It's, ooh, that's a little different. All the wiring.
What do you think?
I say cool. It's outstanding. Good job. What's great is the interior. He's got the alarm clock, the keypad. It's outstanding.
Good
Wow.
job.
Thank you very much.
So it'll be in our auction, and you know, hopefully it'll sell for a lot of money.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. Meeting Bob Gale was awesome. Having him check out the car was amazing. It was a really difficult decision to part with this car, but it's for a really good cause.
3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna make it my #1 priority to finding these ruby slippers.
I've been with Joe for years, and this is the biggest task he's ever set us on.
Thanks so much for coming down. No problem.
Today I'm meeting with the world's foremost authority on these ruby slippers. Rhys Thomas wrote the book Ruby Slippers of Oz.
Joe Madalena is the biggest Wizard of Oz fan in the world. He wants to get back the ruby slippers that were stolen.
They are the single most important item in Hollywood memorabilia.
Agreed, certainly a holy grail.
They're the holy grail. You're falling into a very peculiar Hollywood memorabilia underworld. August 28th, they were stolen approximately 2:30 a.m. from the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. For whatever reason, that Sunday morning, the alarm was off. Whoever came in and got the shoes, they just walked in, smashed the little case they were in, and out they went, and they were gone. Somebody knew exactly what they were going after. They knew how valuable they were. They also knew how identifiable they were and how difficult it would be to resell them. Certainly impossible on the open market. It's almost like stealing the Mona Lisa.
What are you going to do with it? Where are you going to put it?
Yeah.
What lead do you think Joe Maddalena should start off with at this point?
I would scope out the location, scope out the scene of the crime. The Hollywood memorabilia underworld has thrived for years.
Today, I'm on the biggest hunt I've ever been on. I'm chasing the ruby slippers. These are the holy grail of collecting. On Rhys Thomas's advice, I'm on my way to the Judy Garland Museum. I'm hoping to find any little lead, any little nuance. This is the biggest challenge we've ever faced. John?
Joe?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Welcome to Grand Rapids.
It's pretty cold out there.
It is.
Wow, this is neat. It's just amazing. Wow. I didn't realize how big this place was. It's pretty cool.
We're very proud of it.
You know, being here at the Judy Garland Museum is pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz. I look at all these things and I put auction estimates on them. Well, these have really gone up in value. It's an Emerald City vest, $20,000 to $30,000.
Is that right?
And the Winky Spirit, to Winky's word, the Wicked Witch of the West, guard, it's close to $35,000.
We have a bell-bottom coat that was worn in the Emerald City.
This would sell for $30,000 to $50,000. So what is this?
Well, this is the highlight of our collection. It's the carriage that was used in The Wizard of Oz when characters finally made it to the Emerald City.
Wow, this is one of the most memorable moments. What an iconic thing. You know, when I was looking at the film, the wheels match up. So there's 14 spokes, the construction, you know, the supports. I mean, it looks absolutely perfect. So, you know, what I've read is, so before The Wizard of Oz, actually, this carriage had real use. It was a real carriage. So the legend is that it was Lincoln's carriage.
Yes, when it was being restored in Oregon, they found the manufacturer's mark on this wooden bowl, which supports the canopy, and it's stamped A. Lincoln, June 8, 1863.
Wow. This was a real functional carriage, and then it made its way into the MGM inventory. This carriage has probably been used in hundreds of films. What did this sell for when you bought it?
It was just under $50,000.
But it's funny how much the value has increased in time.
Is that right?
The way Wizard of Oz memorabilia is, this is worth a fortune. The Wicked Witch's hat just sold for $200,000. Oh, it's amazing, and you know, it's worth more. I think in today's market, this would sell. I can't believe it. This is exactly why I came to Minnesota. This is the lead I was hoping for. What an iconic thing. This carriage has probably been used in hundreds of films. I am here in Minnesota at the Judy Garland Museum looking at the carriage from The Wizard of Oz. It's awesome. What did this sell for when you bought it?
It was just under $50,000.
Yeah, I would say in today's market, it's easily $300,000.
Gosh.
It's amazing when you think about it, right?
It sure is.
So the thing that I'm most interested, obviously, are the ruby slippers. So that's really why I'm here today, trying to, like, find leads. Is there anybody suggested I should talk with?
You know, the chief inspector, Gene Bennett.
He was the investigator here at the time?
He's retired, but he still lives here.
Yeah, well, let's give him a call. I'd love to meet him today. All right, Gene Bennett. He can walk me through the crime scene step by step. This is exactly why I came to Minnesota. This is the lead I was hoping for.
Sounds good.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, Bri.
What's going on, man? A lot of items came in today from Back to the Future that are going to be benefiting Team Fox. The Nike Mag self-lacing shoes. And not only did Bob Gale find material from his collection, but we're getting material from literally all over the globe. Lou and I are getting these iconic things ready for the upcoming auction catalog, describing it, doing further research, photography.
And Nike actually made these?
Nike made less than 10 pair, but these are the ones that really were worn, you know, by Michael J. Fox. Uber rare.
One of a kind.
Yeah.
So what do you think this is going to go for?
You know, I think that is, we're going to put an estimate of $12,000 to $15,000 on it.
That jacket is the coolest thing, man.
Oh, this is from, of course, from Back to the Future 2. This is the only one of its kind. This is the actual resized jacket.
And we got these great reference images from the consignor, and it's x-rays and the guys working around Michael.
Oh, wow, look at that. See all of these operators that are underneath puppeteering his jacket. You can see this bundle right here at the bottom to actually manipulate. And you can also see in the upper shoulder region, you have the cable going up here. Then they come down the shoulders, reach down, and so then they can actually puppeteer and move the arms. Probably estimated at $25,000 to $50,000.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Take it from here.
Cataloged, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, Gene. Good to see you again. Same here. Gene was the chief detective here 5 years ago when the slippers were stolen.
Can you take me to the crime scene?
I sure can.
All right.
And there's a plexiglass case sitting here.
Right here?
Right here.
Okay.
And the top had been smashed in, and the slippers were removed from that glass case. This door is a little different now than it was, but when I got here, this door window had been smashed. There was glass all the way into a hallway and around the corner.
So they definitely came in this entrance?
Yes. This had an alarm, but for some reason it was turned off.
So that's really weird, right? And they have them stolen under these really bizarre circumstances. Everything surrounding the ruby slippers is mysterious. There's probably all kinds of good stuff going on in here with cameras, right?
There is only one camera in here.
Wow.
And that's set on top. Somebody forgot to turn on.
So you have the alarm off the door, the camera turned off. I mean, this is literally like a waiting invitation to come steal the ruby slippers. Looking at the blank podium where the ruby slippers once were, it's pretty sad. It's the center of the museum, the heart and soul of the Wizard of Oz. There's a $200,000 reward that's still active. $200,000.
Nobody seems to know that.
We're going to try to do everything we can now to kind of get the word out.
Just my opinion on it. Whoever took these slippers didn't realize how big a thing this was going to be.
They got them home and they were like, holy mackerel.
Yeah, holy mackerel.
The heat's on. What am I going to do with these?
The rumor has that they've been destroyed.
That would be horrible. That would be a tragic fate to these famous slippers. I'm hoping Gene is wrong. There are a lot of obsessed people out there wanting to own things they can't own, and I'm hoping that whoever took them wanted them bad enough that they would at least keep them, and now is an opportunity to return them. This is really the dark side of collecting.
So all we have is this broken plexiglass case with a sequence in it.
So you found one ruby sequence in the case?
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. This has made my whole trip worthwhile. We have a real piece of evidence. It's actually locked in an evidence locker at the police station. When I find the real pair of ruby slippers, I'm going to be able to take this one sequin and match it up against those ruby slippers and be sure that those are the real ruby slippers stolen from this museum. If you ever have any other clues or come up with a lead, you got to call me.
I will.
You know, because if we can find them, they really need to be back out there for people to see.
That's correct.
Gene, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been a huge help. It's really, you know, I mean, I like this museum.
I do too.
Gene gave me some good clues. I am not going to stop hunting for these ruby slippers because in my mind, this is just the beginning. We're going to find them. Today's day one of the search. But I've got an auction coming up around the corner. That right now is my #1 priority. I got to get back to work. The money that these things will generate will help eradicate Parkinson's.
Sold, 4,000.
The lot started going up and up and up.
Sold, sold, sold.